Hi guys, so my next video today is going to be this look. It's something that I think would be good for like special occasion, prom, something along those lines. So if you want to see how I did it, keep on watching. Hi guys, so I am going to get right into it. I'm actually going to do kind of like a prom or special event makeup tutorial. Right now it is prom season. Unfortunately for me, I can't really partake in doing any of the June proms this year because I'm about to have a baby and really it could happen anytime in June. So I'm doing some girls for their May proms. So I'm going to be doing probably different things depending on what the dress looks like or this or that, you know, what the style is. But I want to do a tutorial that I think could work really well for prom. I think it could work well for a wedding, like if you're going to a wedding, any kind of special event or mitzvah, anything like that. A lot of events tend to happen at this time of year. So I was looking through all these palettes that I had because sometimes I need inspiration and I tend to only go to the same palettes, and then I have all these palettes, these great palettes just sitting and they never get used. So I think I am going to use some nice silvery tones, silvery and champagne from this NARS palette. And then I also have this really great, definitely good for the razzle dazzle, you know, this with this blue and the silvers. I kind of might keep it to some like cool tones like that. So I'm going to grab those for now, and then what I'm going to try to do is in my upcoming tutorials, because there will be a lot of them since I'm not going to be working much while I wait for the baby to come, I'll not, you know, obviously I can't book anything because I don't want to leave somebody high and dry without a makeup artist for a big event. So while I wait for the baby in June, I'm going to do lots of tutorials because that's something that won't mess anybody up. So anyhow, I'll try to dig from my, you know, back collection so that we have some more things to draw from. Anyway, let's get right into it. So I've already primed. This is actually not a primer, it's a pore minimizer, but I find that it works just as well for a primer. And if I use this pore minimizer, I don't use a primer because you really don't need to. It works just as well. And I am going to start with a little bit of this Makeup Forever. This is kind of my go-to special event makeup. Most of the reason is because it photographs really, really well. This one does not contain any SPF, so that's gonna photograph well because it won't give you any kind of flashback. So I'm going to keep that foundation really light to start because I will go back and I'll probably do another layer, and I'm also going to be doing concealing and stuff like that. But this way I have a little bit of foundation to start with, and now I can move on to the eyes. Okay, so just starting off with a little painterly paint pot like I always do to provide a nice base for the eyeshadow. Then I'm going to use this beautiful palette. I'm going to use the middle dark gray. This is the Lancome Midnight Rush, and I'm just getting that on a MAC 217, and I'm just kind of wiggling it right in the outer corner and a little bit into the crease. Then I'm going to take this Bobbi Brown palette and just use like a medium blending color, just about a shade or two darker than my skin. And I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and just kind of buff that into the crease. So you won't really see the color, it's just really to make things more blended. Then taking a black liner, and I'm just going to tight line the upper lash line. And then you'll see I'm going to start to kind of wing it out and just kind of trace over the lash line. But this doesn't have to be perfect because you are going to go in and smudge it out. Just get it into the lashes. And then I'm also going to drag it about a third of the way on the bottom outer corner. Then I'm taking more of that dark gray from the middle palette. I'm going to buff that over just to kind of make sure it's nice and dark where I want it. So now this is a nice silvery color. I really wanted to use silver because it's kind of like a fancy occasion makeup, and I'm just putting that right on the center of the lid, and I'm really trying to pick it up with this flat brush and then just kind of pat it, and then once I get it down there, kind of smooth it. And the good thing is these colors, they're really good quality eyeshadows, so they don't fall down too much. Now I'm just taking a black from the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, but you can use any black you want, and I'm just buffing that into the outer corner just to get a little more definition there, so you kind of get a fade from dark into the silver. Now this palette does fall down, so be careful. Tap off your brush a lot because it's going to fall right under your eye. That's my only qualm with those shadows. So now I'm taking a little bit of this blue, this sapphire blue, because I wanted to use that. Actually, first I'm using the highlight color, and I'm getting that right into the inner corner and into the brow bone. Then I'm going to take the sapphire blue and I'm going to drag that underneath the lash line, just to really basically over where I put the black liner, but I'm going to drag it all the way in so it really smudges it. And you really have to take your time with this. You know, you want to blend it a little more than you think you need to, because that's what you get, that nice smoky effect underneath the eye. And I'm just going and I'm just buffing a little more of that blending color with a fluffy brush just to make the edges nice and smooth and diffused. Now I'm taking a little wedge with a little bit of primer on it, and then I just kind of clean up under the eyes, and that way when I put my foundation on, it's going to be nice and clean and perfect. Doing a little bit of brow action, nothing special here, just a MAC lingering brow pencil just to frame the eyes. Then I wanted more of like a full coverage foundation. So this is the Graftobian HD foundation palette. And this is, I believe, the lightest one. So I'm picking the color that closely matches my skin tone, and I'm warming it on the back of my hand because it is a cream, and then I'm just buffing it in. And then I take the lighter color and I'm using that with my finger just anywhere I would want to highlight and conceal. And this really starts to brighten up the face and give you a little more dimension and definition where you want it. Under the eyes, down the nose, I put it between the brows, Cupid's bow, all those little areas, and it kind of adds just a little more texture to the face. And then I go with my same brush and I just buff it all in. Sometimes I let it sit for about 30 seconds or so, and then I buff it in. Going back with my blending colors, and I'm just doing a little more blending because I feel like when you have these darker grays and things, it really helps to make it look a little more buffed and a little more professional. So now I'm going to do a little bit of bronzing. This is the Hoola bronzer by Benefit. So it's a cooler brown tone. It's not the warm one that I use when I use the Chanel one. So it's a little different. And I'm just adding a little definition to my cheekbones. And then what I'll do is I'll pinch the brush so that I can get underneath the cheekbones to kind of hollow things out and create a little more sculpted look. Especially now because I'm pregnant, I'm a little puffy. So I need this step more than usual. And then I'm taking one of my favorite MAC blushes. It is Pink Swoon, and I'm just getting that right into the apples of the cheeks, which is why I make that silly face, just to let those apples pop out a little bit more. And then last but not least, I'm doing a little setting powder, and I'm actually doing that over the blush and the bronzer. You can do it before too. It's really up to you. Just a little mascara. Not a big deal here because we're going to be using falsies. These are Red Cherry number 43s. What I do first is I measure them to my lash, and then I trim a little bit on the outer edge, and then I put a little bit of glue, just a little bit, let it sit for about 60 seconds till it gets nice and tacky, and then you can just plop it right along your lash line and it goes right into place. If you don't let it get tacky, it's gonna just kind of pop right out. So you wanna let it get nice and gooey. Okay, so while the lash glue is drying, we're going to move on to lips. So I've already primed my lips. I'm going to use a little bit of a pink liner. So this is just MAC's Hip and Happy liner, which is just like a nice light pink. And then I'm going to be taking two lipsticks, which I'm going to mix together, which is Chanel Gracile and then MAC Pink Nouveau. As you can see, one is a little peachier, one is a little pinkier. And I've already lined a little bit outside my lip line because I want nice big lips. And then I go and I trace that with the lipstick, mixing the two colors together just to get like a nice balance of the color that I like. And then a little bit of pink lip gloss. And then that just kind of puts it all together. It's still kind of like pinky and girly and appropriate for prom. And now I am going to do just a little more mascara, run through the lashes, and then I might touch up with a little bit of black liner on top. We'll see. So this is the finished look. It's super, super dramatic, like probably not something you would wear during the day. You know, this is definitely for like a special occasion, probably an evening event. But I think it would be really fun for prom if you were, you know, not afraid to, you know, do something a little more dramatic. And you could really swap out any of these colors. Like I use kind of like grays and smoky colors. You could use greens, you could use neutrals. The method is really pretty much the same. And the lashes that I used, these are very, very, very intense dramatic lashes. They're Red Cherry 43s. So you could always use individuals, or you could use something a little less, you know, dramatic, something a little shorter. So anyway, I hope you like the look. Thank you so much for watching the video, and please let me know if you have any questions or comments below. Bye.